Hey, what's up, YouTube? Hope everybody's having a great day, great night, whenever you're watching this. I haven't really uploaded to this channel much in the past few months, and for that, I do apologize for. I've just been super busy with work and there's been a lot going on, so, my apologies for not uploading to this channel much recently. But, anyways, I apologize if, me having my window cracked open messes with the sound quality. Actually, you know what? I'll turn that, or I'll roll that up, because chances are that'll probably make this sound quality horrible. Now, before anybody judges me, I do have my full attention on the road. So, for anybody that tries to sit there and be like, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this, well, da 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 da. Well, you know what? I'm focusing on the road. But anyways, so with that out of the way, now that I am a minute into the, I can't freaking speak today. I'm sorry, but now that I'm a little over a minute into the video, I'm finally gonna get to the point. So, it's been making news big time that there's this guy, you know, he was from California. Well, actually, he wasn't even from California. He wasn't even from this country. He was here illegally. Now, how the hell he was given a freaking CDL or anything like that is way the hell beyond me. But man, this guy, I'm horrible at names, so my apologies. I haven't looked into this information the past few days. Don't really care to say that dude's name either anyways, because the dude is he's a douchebag for what he did. I don't want to swear too much because, I'm trying to work on that, but man, I just don't understand people. He came to this country illegally, somehow managed to get a CDL, because I guess that's just how ridiculous California is, especially with their governor, Gavin Newsom. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand that dude. He is just as bad as Gretchen Whitmer, who is my governor, by the way. If not that, sometimes worse. But anyways, beside my point, he somehow got hired into a trucking company and somehow managed to get a freaking CDL. And the dude couldn't even speak English either. He's driving down the road. I believe they said he was going down a freeway or whatever, and he thought that it was a great idea to make an illegal U-turn without checking his mirrors to make sure that nobody was coming. He just made a U-turn, and then as he was turning around, there was some people in a minivan that ended up driving right into the dude's semi-trailer. And the look on the dude's face when he was turning around and he caused that accident, the dude looked like he had no remorse for what he did. I mean, he just looked after it happened and then just had this look on his face like, oh, well, that just happened, or something like that. It's like, man, it's bad enough that you are in this country illegally, and then you do something like that. You cause a wreck, and basically you done screwed yourself over now, because you were already breaking the law by being in this country illegally, and then you cause a wreck like that. I mean, dude, that is not a good look. If I was in that position, I'd be freaking panicking right now. I'd probably be, man, of course something knocked over in the back of the van. I'm sorry, guys. But I'd probably be super remorseful. I'd probably be panicking, you know. The thought I'd be having in my head was, oh crap, I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison. My life is done. What am I going to do? You know, Lord, forgive me for what I did. You know, that'd be my response. But no, the dude looked in his mirror after it happened and then looked forward and had this look on his face like, you know, he was annoyed, or, you know, he just acted like it was people in the minivan, that it was their fault, you know. I tell you what, like I said, it's bad enough that he was in this country illegally. And of course, you know, the job that he was working at was based out of California. And quite frankly, those people, unless if they really didn't care if he was there illegally, of course, they still managed to give him a job and all that. I don't know. This situation just blows my mind. You know, because he caused a few people to lose their life because of this situation. That dude should have not have been driving. That dude should have not even been in this country to begin with. Now, I know some people are going to sit there and try and bring up America's past, be like, oh, well, you know, what about back when this happened? What about back when that happened? You realize that, you know, Americans took the land and all that. You realize blah, 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 blah. You know what? First off, we're not living in a time that happened hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And to anybody that's going to sit there and pull the stolen land card, there's a difference between stolen land and conquered land. You should go look that up. Maybe you'll learn something. But anyways, you know, the dude, he should have not have been in this country. I'm sorry. The dude was here illegally, and there's just so many things with this situation that makes me mad. You know, I understand not everybody out there speaks English. Okay, whatever. But if you're going to be driving and you cannot understand what certain signs mean, like you can't read things in English or whatever, you should not even be driving. I am sorry. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that there was something, I'm pretty sure that Trump passed something like months back saying, you know, if you don't speak English, then, you know, you can't get a job here or there, or, you know, you can't be driving or whatever. I mean, I guess that's a law that's been in effect for quite some time, but it's something that Trump is trying to focus on, or he did focus on it anyways. I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to wake up a little bit, but you know, I get it. Things happen sometimes. Whether or not that guy was actually remorseful for what he did, I don't know. The way I see it when looking at the look on his face, he did not look very remorseful. Now, and I'm not saying that I think he woke up that morning thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go do something stupid. I'm going to do something that's going to cause people to lose their lives and do this and that, da-da-da-da-da. I'm sure he didn't wake up that morning thinking that any of that stuff was going to happen. However, first off, being in this country illegally, and then on top of that, sitting there making an illegal U-turn, not checking your mirrors, making sure that there's nobody coming. That dude, even if he gets deported, that dude should never even be allowed to drive again. The dude should spend a very long time in prison for what he did. The dude deserves a lot of consequences for what he did. I have no remorse for that guy. Not one time in 1,000 years will I ever have remorse for that guy. I feel bad for the family and friends of the 3 people that ended up losing their life in that accident. May God be with those affected by everybody that was affected by that. It's a sad situation. I couldn't imagine losing a loved one or 2 or 3 in an accident like that. It is pretty sad. And even people that live in this country, there's a lot of bad drivers out there, unfortunately. People think that they don't need to check things. People that sit there and drive like they own the road and then drive however the hell they want to drive. That's just something that happens. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is, unfortunately. People pulling out in front of other people that are going down the road. You got people that think it's a great idea to drive drunk or text and drive, and then they end up causing wrecks. It's a sad situation. But the guy just needs to be locked up for a very long time. He needs to be sent back to the country that he came from, and he needs to be locked up. And he should never, ever be allowed to get behind the wheel of a vehicle again. Because that dude is responsible for what happened. I don't care what anybody says. If you got a problem with what I said, feel free to say something then. But that's just my opinion. And that's all I have to say. Sorry if I sounded like I was speaking a little bit of gibberish. Like I said, I'm trying to wake up some, and right now I'm just heading to work. And been a super busy person this summer, which is why I have not been uploading to this channel much recently. So, anyways, hope everybody's having a great day, great night, whenever you're watching this. And that's all I gotta say. Take care now.